Hi, welcome to my channel. I am the one they call PG Pam. I am not going to stay for too long because we are waiting for the verdict of the Johnny Depp vs Amber Heard defamation trial. Um, I've seen a lot of people who seem to think that the trial is whether or not Johnny or Amber is guilty or innocent, and that's actually the whole trial was about whether or not Amber's opt-in on that, or whether the Johnny the statements by Johnny's lawyer could be considered defamation towards Amber, something along those lines. Were the major points of the trial, and so the jury is deciding on that. Lots of people are confused and upset that this trial wasn't decided in an instant, but I think that it's really good of the jury to take their time because these are people's lives. And I am curious to see whether or not Amber is going to be facing some more charges or more cases regarding perjury because I know that that happened in Australia. I believe it's still an ongoing case for Amber. So, yeah, I'm not feeling very well right now. So, I'm going to try and keep this as chill and as quick as possible. I've got a cup of coffee over here, which is probably not going to contribute to my overall health, but bottoms up. Make a pint of coffee. Anyway, okay. So we are taking a look at Quora today. I typed in Johnny Depp because I wanted to see what popped up. And the first question that popped up is, what is Johnny Depp like in real life? Right? And we have someone named Reggie Davis, who answered this question 3 years ago, said, the first film I worked on was Cry Baby, so I got to see Johnny Depp almost every day for a couple months. He was very nice, funny in a quiet way, and not interested in acting like a movie star. One day, two girls crawled under a fence and ran up to him screaming and crying. He got them a towel to wipe the mud off their faces and spoke to them calmly for a few minutes. He never treated them like fans, he treated them like new friends. He is still one of my favorite people I've met in the business. Okay, that's a really nice story. I'm hoping that there are some stories like this about Amber Heard on there. Look, you can hate or love Amber Heard or Johnny Depp, but the truth of the matter is these are real people. These are not like just two polar opposites on a storyline of something. This is real life, and people love people that do awful things because we all know people that have done awful things to us, and we still really really love them, care about them, and hope that they will change. So we're dealing with real people, you know. It's good not to have an attitude that is too polarizing, and to give people the opportunity to grow, to change, and to be better people, which doesn't happen if you are so against someone, you know. Yeah. So here's another question. Someone asked, do you think Johnny Depp is innocent? So someone by the name of Kylie Ashby responded and said his daughter, Lily Rose Depp, issued a public statement that she has never known her father to be abusive. Vanessa Paradis, his partner for 14 years and the mother of his children, issued a public statement that she has never known Johnny to be abusive. Winona Ryder, his girlfriend back in his 20s, when he was at the height of his party days, issued a public statement that she has never known him to be abusive. Does he get angry on occasion? Of course, everybody does. Does he act out his frustrations sometimes? Yep, just like everybody else. But what Little Miss, whatever her name is, found the fast track to. But Little Miss, whatever her name is, found the fast track to fame, didn't she? She pushed all his buttons until she got him beyond angry. Even her secret videotapes of him never showed him threatening her in any way. He was venting about something that had nothing to do with her. But she sure jumped on the victim train and has been trying to build her pathetic little career by name calling. Sorry, little Missy, but there are real victims out there who won't be taken seriously until people like you stop making a mockery of physical abuse. Roll back into obscurity so that the actual victims of abuse can have their day in court. Okay, now there's a couple statements there that I agree or disagree with. First of all, his ex-partner, whom he has children with, and maybe even ex-girlfriends, they are long term in the industry. Most of them are much longer in the industry than Amber is. So they know the inner workings of the industry, and even if Johnny potentially, allegedly, whatever, was abusive to them, they are much less likely to come out with it. Another thing is also Lily Rose Depp apparently didn't attend her father's wedding. I believe he said that she was angry at Amber, possibly because he was still with her mother, Vanessa Paradis, until Amber came into the picture. So, I mean, I don't see them becoming best friends after that. Yeah, so, some of these women in the industry are not going to come forward because they don't want to jeopardize their careers. As you get older in the industry, there are only certain types of roles that you are potentially going to be called for because of your age and your appearance, blah, 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 blah. And people don't want to jeopardize that in any by attacking a megastar. So there's that as well. So we have to consider that. However, it is quite interesting that the majority of people in Johnny's past have said that he has not been abusive to them. Even one of the psychologists for the trial said that it seems like Johnny had been well controlled until he met Amber, despite the fact that he grew up facing a lot of abuse, allegedly, from his mother. So I think that that is quite an interesting thing. This person, Kennedy, did mention that Amber pushed all his buttons until she got him beyond angry. However, something else that's very interesting to note is I'm not sure what the motivation was or what happened behind it, but when Amber's op ed came out, Johnny didn't sue her for defamation directly first. I think that's quite interesting because that behavior, in my opinion, is the kind of behavior that you can expect from an abuser. They want to make things difficult for you. Instead, Johnny Depp sued the newspaper that called him a wife beater. So I think that's very telling about his personality, in my opinion. I can't say though because it's possible that that was what his lawyers and his representatives advised him to do rather than going straight after Amber. But when he lost that particular case, then he decided, gotta take this to the source of everything. Another thing that recently came to my attention is I thought that Johnny was the one who was on having the cameras in the court. However, it was actually the judge. I think it was Emily D. Baker, potentially. Not sure if it was exactly her, but I was watching someone's coverage of the whole trial and they mentioned it was the judge that said this thing should be televised. So I'm very, that's also quite telling as well because I think that an abuser would want as much fanfare around this thing so they can humiliate the victim publicly as possible, right? Yeah. And yeah, also in all of the instances of abuse that we can see between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, it seems to me that Johnny Depp externalized his anger and his issues. He never directly wanted to go to Amber. I like to watch Bose versus World, and she mentioned that Johnny's behavior seems to be that of someone who likes to leave the situation and like just pop off rather than interact with someone that's trying to be clingy or abusive towards him. And I have to agree because from what I can see from the different instances of arguments and abuse that happen in Amber and Johnny's relationship, Johnny would more often than not want to leave. He'd want to get out of there. He'd want to avoid Amber, and Amber, on the other hand, would come in his face and be aggressive. And that's from what I could get from that, right? So that as well is quite telling about victim and perpetrator behaviors, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't agree, however, with people bullying Amber Heard. You, it's not going to achieve anything. Even if people try and push her out of the industry or say that they hate her, or anything, it's not going to achieve anything. She's going to move on to a next relationship or even with the person she's with and potentially be abusive still because nothing is going to change with that behavior. What is needed is a remedial action. For Johnny as well, Johnny was verbally abusive. My favorite moment still from the whole trial is Aquaman. I'll never get over that. I'll freaking just watch Aquaman 2 just for that. Just so I can say I went to watch Aquaman. But yeah. Sorry guys, it's flu. Yeah, so um try not to cough. Yeah, so it's not gonna achieve anything. They both need lots and lots of counseling. They need lots and lots of unpacking of why they decided to choose each other, what drew them to each other, and how their relationship became so volatile. Okay, I'm gonna have to cough. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah. So this person also says, sorry, Mercy, but there are real victims out there who won't be taken seriously. I 110% agree with this. It's already hard for victims of abuse to come forward. And not just that they can't be taken seriously, it's hard for them to come forward because your abuser gaslights you into thinking that either you did something wrong or that you have to protect them. I've been in situations where people have told me, oh, if you tell on what I've done to you, then other people are going to think negatively of me. So you can't do that. You want other people to think negatively of me. So that's like gaslighting. That's legitimate gaslighting. So you, as the victim, feel ashamed and you feel so scared that other people are going to think this person is abusive. And that's exactly what's happening. But you, the abuser has the unfortunate ability to make a victim feel like they need to protect the abuser. And so when it comes to cases of people like Amber Heard, we can't ignore that there are serious mental health problems, which also can play a role in her coming forward with stories that aren't quite true or aren't presented in the way that she said that they are. And so people who are struggling with cases of abuse are going to struggle when things are going to be scrutinized and we can't be taken seriously. My apologies. Um, yeah. So that was very important for me to think about and to mention. So yeah. Someone says, I believe Amber Heard is a victim and Johnny Depp should not be given a retrial. What do you think? So, yeah, Marie Cameron responded and said, first, there is no such thing as a retrial unless there is a hung jury. If there is, regardless of what you believe, you can't be barred from refiling. This isn't a criminal case, it's a civil lawsuit. If he or she loses, then they can appeal, but that isn't retrying the case. That is another court going over whether the proceedings were done properly and about redoing it all. Thirdly, you can believe she's a victim all you want. It doesn't change the facts shown in court. I'm not a Depp fan at all, yet the trial, if you actually watched it and not just the social media clips, was very telling. Amber has set back actual victims of DV so much right now, and it's disgusting. I have clients who have been horrifically battered and are 1000% on his side after watching every second of the trial and are pissed as hell at her behavior. Now that is telling. That is very true. As much as I can understand that both Amber and Johnny were hurt in this situation, a lot of the things that she said just don't quite add up. And I have to wonder whether Amber's mental health issues escalated the situation in her mind to the point where it was not just this thing happened, it was this thing happened and everything else. And he was a monster and he was, I'm not trying to say that it's not possible for victims of DV to feel that the abuser is a monster. I'm just saying that it seems to me like there was this compounding in her mind, um, even though I don't actually have the right to say. But I feel like she just added more to what actually happened, and that's potentially because of mental health issues. And if that is the particular case, then getting treatment, maybe getting medication, is going to help improve her life greatly. I feel so sorry for both Johnny and Amber, but I think that they both need to take responsibility for their actions of abusing each other and abusing themselves. They are both substance users and substance abusers, should I say, rather. And that's very telling. That's important because if you can abuse yourself, you can probably abuse someone else. And even though it doesn't seem like that's the two correlate, if you are abusing yourself, that means that you are not caring for yourself as a human the way that you probably should be caring for yourself. And when you've got these mental health issues, you've got these psychological issues and traumas that are causing you to abuse yourself, they can affect other people. It can trickle down. So if you've got issues where you're angry at yourself, right? You'll probably notice yourself snapping at other people when they make you upset. So if you have like a lot of self-loathing, you might just snap. Kid drop something on the floor. Why did you do that? Blah, 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 blah. Why did you do that? What are you doing here? Blah blah blah. And these are things that we have to manage. Once you start learning to forgive yourself, it's easier to forgive other people. So it's really important to remember that self-abuse can correlate with abuse of other people, even if it's just, I hate to say just, but even if it's emotional abuse or verbal abuse, that is still abuse. Overwhelmingly, evidence shows, in my opinion, that Johnny has been verbally abusive to Amber, potentially even reactively abusive to Amber. Even though I can see he has a lot of self control, he tries to direct the abuse away from Amber and, well, during their relationship. And also, I did not see evidence of financial abuse. I did not see evidence the way she wanted to present it of physical abuse. Lots of people are talking about the RAPEE thing that happened with Amber, um, and it just doesn't add up. There's so many things that just don't add up with Amber's testimony of like why she didn't go and get help and the things that she said. I mean, if she was injured with a broken bottle, surely you would be wanting to get some medical attention. Surely you'd want to go and get medical attention because uh, you need your lady parts for life. You need that to do stuff and to actually like physically have a life. So I'm not trying to say that things did not happen to her. I just think that in a lot of different ways, the story is not quite there. And I have to wonder whether she sort of created these situations because of her mental health issues. And in that case, it's kind of not necessarily on purpose. So I think the most important thing is to just be compassionate to both Amber and Johnny because they are complex people who have complex issues and they deserve compassion. And also, they deserve remedial action. And some of that remedial action is probably going to take the form of some jail time. And I think that it's good. The remedial action is good. Okay, let's do one more. Sorry. Let's not also forget that Johnny is supposedly hit Amber with those rings on his hand. I made a short about this recently, but he was wearing these rings in court, and when I looked at what is appropriate to wear to court, I discovered that they don't recommend that people wear jewelry excessively. That Johnny was wearing this all the time, so we are constantly reminded throughout the trial that he hit her with those rings, and she can just cover it up with makeup and with ice because I don't know what magic Amber was having access to, but that was kind of telling for me. But anyway, okay. So Ria Moore answered the question. I believe Amber Heard is a victim and Johnny Depp should not be given a retrial. What do you think? Ria says, it seems like it's only been a few weeks since you posted this question and it already did not age well. If you haven't seen recently, there's still not been any evidence of abuse perpetuated by Johnny Depp. There has, however, been damning testimony against Amber Heard. I'll detail below. Number one, a story that Heard told about Depp being so intoxicated or strung out that he pissed in their foyer was discredited by a bodyguard. The bodyguard did say he heard ruckus, but did not actually view any ruckus, and certainly did not see Depp with, and I quote, his penis out. Remember that was hilarious. In an audio recording was played of Heard, essentially telling Depp that the court of law would not believe he's a victim of domestic violence. That is typical abuser behavior right there. Typical abuser behavior, reverting to sexism and antiquated belief systems about abuse, or like really just gender roles in general. Number three, an audio recording was played of her openly admitting she started a physical fight with them. In the same recording, she also said, I wasn't punching you, I was hitting you. You're such a baby, Johnny. That freaking one broke my heart. I'm sure there's more I'm not privy to at the moment, but I certainly hope you rethink your stance and stop just playing them. Oh god, this was heartbreaking to hear what Johnny went through. I do think that uh, mental health issues played a huge role with Amber Heard and her abuse. I do think so, but yeah, Johnny was such a huge victim in so many ways as well. I feel especially compassionate towards Johnny because of his alleged abuse by his mother, but all the stuff that happened to him with Amber, I would not be surprised if he just like, I don't want women around me within a 10-foot radius because of my word. Human beings can do such awful, painful things to each other, and it breaks my heart. Especially when I heard her say, I wasn't hitting you, I wasn't freaking decking you or something. She said like that. And I was like, oh my word. Yes. So for her to understand the concept of abuse, she actually has to be physically decking someone for them to feel like they were hurt by her. Goodness gracious. And once again, I really do think that that is a mental health issue that was at play here because I don't think that's a normal thought pattern at all. I wasn't hitting you. I mean, I wasn't decking you. I was just hitting you. No, my friend, that doesn't plan. But anyway, so yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about the whole trial and the situation. As I've said before, I'm compassionate to both Amber and Johnny. I think Amber needs a lot of help, a lot of help because I actually did a video a while back about abusers, and the truth is that abusers in the prison system that have been convicted of sexual assault offences have a different brain chemistry to that of abusers with other type. I mean, criminals with other type of crimes, and I thought that was quite interesting because if the brain chemistry is different, we can learn something about the long-term effects of abuse and how dangerous it is to any types of victims and to perpetrators because the likelihood of becoming a perpetrator is so much higher increased once you've been a victim of abuse. And that's why I say you need to be careful of saying I can never abuse someone. Because if you've been a victim of abuse, there's some trauma there and something can trigger you and you can just as easily switch over without even being aware what's happening at the time. Okie dokie. So thank you so much for joining me. I am going to go to our scripture of the day and I'm just going to read this little snippet from Tyndale House, which I'm so grateful for allowing me to use my favorite version of the Bible, the NLT. Unless otherwise indicated, all the following scripture quotations are taken from the Holy Bible New Living Translation with copyright by Tyndale House Foundation, used permission of Tyndale House Publishers, all rights reserved. So our scripture of the day is from Jeremiah 16 verse 17, which says, I am watching them closely and I see every sin. They cannot hope to hide from me. Oh dang. Oh dang. That's a good scripture for today. But anyway, yeah. So thanks so much for being here. I hope that you are not in a situation of abuse if you're watching this. But the truth is, abuse is everywhere. It is so common that we sometimes don't even see it. You can be abused by government, by parents, by friends, by just anyone. And that sucks. But the more we create awareness around it, we can deal with those issues and then we can treat people with respect and with love and with care. And we can show them the way to having healthy relationships. Because that's ultimately what's going to make life a lot more lovable for everybody. Healthy connection, healthy relationships. Anyway, thanks so much for being here, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day further because you absolutely deserve it.